Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Thursday.
Don't get office chair butt. Oh no, another thing to worry about. Office chair butt is the epidemic that's plaguing people who do the sedentary 9 to 5 sitting in their chairs. I mean, yeah, it is important. Get up once an hour. Do a little walk around, do a little stretch. I mean, it is really good for you. And what we're really talking about, I mean, it has a funny name, with office chair butt being the scourge of office buildings the world over. It's atrophy of the gluteal muscles. The whole group, which can be caused by sitting too often and being too sedentary. And it is known that if you have an overdevelopment or an underdevelopment of muscles in the butt, the back, the torso, all over the body, that it can cause strains and it can cause issues with different things, making it feel like your whole spine's out of alignment at times. And of course, this is a new trendy kind of term that's being thrown around by influencers on TikTok and around the internet, going, hey, I refuse to get office chair butt. Although I think it's one of those things where it's not a universal situation. I mean, some people might have issues directly from, whatever they're doing, the regular repetitive stress, fatigue, but then also some people are going to be not fazed by it at all, and they're going to be, for lack of a better word, still juicy. I don't think it's going to affect them all that much. So it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of situation. But researchers are trying to help with this situation, not specifically with office chair butt, though it is a concern. Really, I mean, with all of the different aches and pains that come along with the office work setting.
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
Got some headlines coming your way. Liam Gallagher says there were years wasted when Oasis split apart and the brothers Gallagher couldn't be singing together. He says that now he wants the band to stay together beyond just the big reunion tour that's going to be happening before too long. He says it's been a spiritual experience singing with his brother Noel again. Well, so much for those pools that people were putting together, seeing how long it would last. Hopefully for a while. Muse are teasing some new music. They're going to be starting up a tour in Europe as of tonight, but they're saying that a new single called Unraveling is going to be coming out very, very soon. And there's going to be, of course, an album following that. Music video apparently is going to be just a couple days away before you actually get to see the whole thing, but a snippet has been released on their social media. And sad news arrived yesterday. And with the news of the passing of Brian Wilson at the age of 82, not just the subject of a great song from the Bare Naked Ladies, of course, member of the Beach Boys, and responsible for a serious change in the sound of music back in the 60s. And that seems like an exaggeration, but it absolutely wasn't. Not only was Brian Wilson a pioneer of pop music and further progressor of rock and roll into the 60s, the album Pet Sounds, out in early 1966, changed what it meant to put out an album. Largely, there was a focus on singles and just singular recordings, then collected into groups and gatherings, more like compilations than anything. With Pet Sounds, that changed. And many different artists agree. Paul McCartney even famously said, God Only Knows, track 8 on that album, one of the best songs that has ever been written, and one of the only songs to be able to bring him to tears just about every time that he listens to it. Of course, there's been an outpouring of support from musicians, from family members, from members of the Beach Boys, and they do not give a cause of death, though it's known that Brian Wilson struggled with health issues throughout his entire life. You keep hearing the little whisperings, and it gets more and more annoying, frustrating, and then legitimately disconcerting at the same time. Talk about the make Canada the 51st state. Start with Alberta. Make Alberta the 51st state. All this stuff coming from the South. No thanks. No, none of it is wanted. I just actually saw an opinion article that was thrown into some American newspapers, and of course from a lobby group, from people with American interests, talking about how that's the first step. You got to annex Alberta. You got to make sure you secure all that. I'm like, well, yeah, no, just as if it's as easy as just walking up here and saying, ours now, mine. No, not going to be like that. And I think, honestly, anybody who is north of the border who's feeling like, yeah, no, I want to be a part of America, well, I got a pretty simple solution. I think the one option that you got, thankfully, is one that doesn't take a lot of thought or effort. I mean, you just go south, and then you keep going south, and then you go further than that, and then once you're in Montana, you've figured it out.
Friday.
They announced a Spaceballs sequel. Yeah, nobody had that on their bingo card. Nobody was expecting it. The announcement video is fantastic as well. Tongue-in-cheek letter crawl through space, evoking the very franchise that it was always sending up. But, it's listing so many mega movie franchise sequels and prequels and spin-offs and tie-ins and remakes and rehashes and reinterpretations, blah, 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 blah. Point is, there's been a lot in the lean years since we got Spaceballs on the big screen, and coming back to theaters again.
After 40 years, we asked, what do the fans want? But instead, we're making this movie. May the Schwartz be with you.
Only in theaters in 2027, so, don't hold your breath. But thanks for coming out and giving us another laugh. A quick one, Mel Brooks. This is going to be a very strange but very welcome sequel, especially with Rick Moranis coming out of his retirement. This is his first movie in like 30 years. Absolutely going to get a ticket. And there it is. We've officially jumped the shark when it comes to the popcorn buckets. It's happened. It's happened. The largest promotional popcorn bucket is also the most expensive one. And they're already too expensive. I mean, cut that price in half and I'm still going, I don't know if I need it. But the Galactus bucket is what we're talking about. It ties into Fantastic Four First Steps, a full 17 and a half inches tall and 20 inches wide. It's going to cost $80 a pop in the U.S. Expect at least $100 in Canada if you can find one. I don't have a confirmation of exactly where they are. Many more times that price if you're trying to find one on eBay in a month's time. But does the value go down if you actually put any popcorn in it? Does it go up? Nothing is going to make this purchase make any sense to me financially or, space-wise, storage-wise. So it better at least come with free butter. Layered.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
We start out with Alanis Morissette, who is celebrating the 30th anniversary of Jagged Little Pill being released on this day back in 1995. An absolutely incredible album, a complete pivot from the sound that she was putting out at the time. Ottawa's dance music darling deciding to go more alt-rock with it and getting extremely edgy. At the age of 21, releasing a genre-changing and era-defining album that is Jagged Little Pill. Plus, because a milestone anniversary deserves another, she was also back on the big screen this month across North America in a limited re-release of the 25th anniversary of Dogma from Kevin Smith, and just so happened to also receive an honorary doctorate from U Ottawa in her hometown while she was touring in Norway this month. It's been a big June for Miss Morissette. But in addition to that, Green Day in the news, as well as Bruce Springsteen. They are giving tribute to the Beach Boys' Brian Wilson, who passed away at the age of 82. Green Day sharing a cover of I Get Around. Bruce Springsteen calling him the most musically inventive voice in all of pop, with an otherworldly ear for harmony. I defy anybody to listen to the Pet Sounds album from the Beach Boys and not be entirely moved. It was also a game changer, much like Morissette's album. That's it for your music news this morning. Emerging pop princess and summer anthem siren, Sabrina Carpenter. Whether you're familiar with the music, you might have seen the hubbub of late as she's causing a whole uproar, posing nude but covered on the cover of the Rolling Stone magazine. Just after a whole uproar over whether the proposed art for her newly announced album is either sexist or satire. Gotta pick a side. Genuinely, I get not wanting, your young impressionable kids seeing a youthful implied nudity posing woman within the sightlines. You know what I mean? That's valid. But I do laugh at the pearl clutching, claiming that Rolling Stone, what have they done? They're just trying to be Playboy in this day and age, as if there haven't been countless scantily clad covers on that magazine through the years. I mean, it's a bit of a staple. They go back to that well a lot. I can think of 3 or more that were just as much of an eyeful off the top of my head. Christina Aguilera, Janet Jackson, Demi Moore, Jennifer Aniston, that whole True Blood cover, the entire lineup of Blind Melon, Justin Timberlake.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.